Two things. He said, well, that's what he said. If a board is going to render a decision about land use, have vision and listen to the community. That was about you?
That was about us. That's what he was there speaking on.
That's right. That was your hearing. Thank you.
Yes, sir, because he was there when we did the.
That's the rural heritage.
Rural heritage. Okay. And with that, I think I'm done. That's the face of the celery fields, okay? The commission saved it the other day. They might have also been saving their own face, but they at least did something for us.
Exactly.
And thank you, Tom, for all that you've done. You've been amazing.
Hi everyone, my name is Adrienne Lucas. A lot of us have not met in person. I would like to say I'm very happy for Audubon, the concert. I mean, I feel like a club baby seal. I can't believe this happened. I cried lots of happy tears. But there's something on the horizon that I think that we all need to sort of really be paying attention to. There is a Sarasota County Board of Zoning Appeals hearing for TST Ventures, and that's Mr. Gabbard's property. It is on November 6th, November 18th, and it's at the Ringling Boulevard Commission Chamber at 6 p.m. This is a letter from Donna Thompson, our zoning administrator, to Attorney Merrill, which states where he is getting a response about his packet for TST Ventures and the 4 acres that's being built out. And she says modifications are not specifically listed would require an amendment to the concept plan approved by the county commissioners. The table does consider changes to stormwater facilities, however, it does not allow for the consideration of supplementing the uses depicted on the concept plan by relocating them to contiguous properties under unified control and ownership. I know that's a lot, but it goes on, therefore the subject property must be developed in accordance with the binding development concept plan approved with the special exception 1739 and the approved site and development plans approved permit, blah, 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 blah. The changes proposed in your request would constitute a substantial modification and would require approval from the county commission, as well as an amendment to the approved site and development plan. Should you desire to continue with a substantial modification, please contact our Planning and Zoning Division as soon as possible. And then very quickly, I just want to read to you. This is from Attorney Merrill regarding his appeal for Mr. Gabbard from TST Ventures. Number one, he is contesting that a modification of the size or configuration of a stormwater lake depicted on the binding development concept plan is not a minor modification to the DCP and should be approved by the administrator, but rather substantial modification. I mean, basically just trying to shove this through quietly. Number two, that a modification to configure a stormwater lake that is not depicted on the DCP and that does not affect the area depicted on the DCP, and don't ask me what the DCP is because I forgot and I have to look it up again. This is not my language. Or the perimeter of the proposed site is not a permitted use or a minor modification to the DCP to be approved by the administrator, but rather substantial,
Development concept plan.
Thank you. Well, Attorney
Better
Merrill,
repeat that for others.
I'm not going to. I'll have this posted, available on Facebook and other places, and I will be emailing everybody to see if you'll attend this meeting. But Attorney Merrill maintains that we maintain that both of these interpretations are incorrect, and basically, I don't know what they're up to. I don't know how this will affect the stormwater or what he's trying to route to, but if water is suddenly our county commissioner's #1 priority, the safety of water, if this is where Philippi begins, we need to follow this and see what Mr. Gabbard is up to on his 4 acres of property. So again, this meeting is on November 18th at 6 p.m. In the county chambers, and it's going to be a fun one. So thank you. Yes.
I'm walking too.
You know the language because this is like French to
I want to
me.
ask, I want to just get a clarification. I don't know the answer.
Okay.
Is the Board of Zoning Appeals that they're going to, is that a recommendation board, an advisory board, or is that a final say? Does it have to come back as a recommendation to the commissioners?
It's the zoning board, so.
I know, but like there's the planning board, you know, and they're an advisory group. Is it an advisory group that would then make a recommendation to the commissioners? Or is it the ultimate answer? Final word.
I'll just read what it says. The Sarasota County Board of Zoning Appeals will hold public hearings beginning at 6 p.m. or as soon thereafter as possible on November 18th at the Chamber to consider zoning variances from the Sarasota County Zoning Regulations, ordinance number 2018-047, as amended for the following. The county has stated to Mr. Gabbard that he can't go through with what they're proposing, so he's put in an appeal. Well, his attorney has for $1,000, but.
I was just trying to find out if this meeting was your only meeting, but what I believe when you just read that, because it's asking for a variance, I believe that all variances have to come in front of the Board of County Commissioners. So I'm trying to give you 2 bites of the apple. If you look at a commission agenda, you'll see where it has variance, 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 variance. So I'm thinking that that meeting will be important, but I'm also thinking that you could also go in front of the Board of County Commissioners as well. That's what that was the gist of my question.
Yeah, I don't have the follow-up answer to that, but I can assure you I'll be attending that meeting too.
They're labeled non-advisory on the county website.
Non-advisory, okay.
So where is the area in question?
It's exactly Mr. Gabbard's, which will be his WTF. It's the 4 acres that, but apparently the plan has changed. And the county is actually denying what he's asking for. So it's curious that county staff is actually, I think, protecting us. And I hope they continue to. So we'll see what happens at this
Is that on
meeting.
board?
Is everyone here on the distribution list that goes out from Fresh Start? Because I think it's important to get that information out when you're
I'm going to send out an email and we'll put
Very
it on
good.
Citizens' Facebook page and other things. So thanks for listening and viva the celery fields!
And this is Glenna Bloomquist, who has just done an enormous amount of work for Fresh Start.
Well, it
And you have to get the microphone up close, very
I'll
close.
eat it. My husband accuses me of eating the mic when I speak at the commission, and I'm heavily chastised whenever I do that. I think I have a lovely little slide
If you'll come
here.
over here, I'll do your computer to move the things.
Here we go.
Go over there, and you'll be visible in the computer.
Okay, it's just this one, but I have to say that on Thursday, like all of us, I'm sure, woke up with this weight lifted off our shoulders. And we were just absolutely ecstatic, and I thought, I've got my life back. This is really great, you know. It's been all these, seems like more than 2 years, but that's it. Compulsively working on this issue and just hoping that we can be heard. But I guess we're good at this because Commissioner Hines has now tasked us with a few more things, because he did in the meeting on Wednesday remind us that we should remain active. And here are some of the projects that are all under the auspices of the Conservation Foundation. So I guess we can't just, put away our energies and hibernate. There's much more to do. And I think we all have the energy for that now that we know that we can be successful and that we can be heard and we can work with great partners. And thank you, everybody.
Tom, do you want to wrap up? No? Okay.
I'll clarify one thing.
There's a microphone.
Testing. I think I can answer Becky's question about the Gabbard Board of Zoning Appeals. As I understand it, the zoning appeals board will decide whether it's a substantial deviation or not. If it is not, then Gabbard can go ahead and build it. If it is a substantial deviation, then it has to go before the commission. This has him scared to death. But in either way, the fact that the county itself is stepping up and telling him, no, Mr. Gabbard, you have to follow the rules, that's part of maybe that turning point.
Yeah.
So that's what we're hoping. There's a bigger change afoot. And let's hope so.
This is just the beginning of a long process, and everybody has to continue to participate for us to get the result we want. Thank you, Tom. I'm going to close the meeting.
All right.
Narrow side. Put it under.